Greetings, conscious entrepreneurs. You're tuned into the MOEToday manifestation series, and today is part 4, and it's entitled, I Can Be What I Will to Be. And so we're going to give a little time for people to come into the room. I am very excited. It may not be a very long class tonight. I've had an actually really long day, but a very successful day by the grace of Allah. We had, as a founding member of the Coalition of Black House Museums, we had a press conference today to celebrate Black History Month, to encourage people to visit our house museums, and to talk about how preservation matters and how it's time for us to control and monetize our history. And we got an amazing turnout of the press and lots of great feedback we're very, very excited about. But I feel like I was on a high and I feel like I'm getting drained. But we're going to do this tonight because I want you guys to get part 4. And if you want during this Black History Month to support my Chicago Black House Museum, the Elijah Muhammad House, all you have to do is just, you can do one or two things. You can donate, just straight flat out donate. Cash App, $MOEToday, that's MOEToday. If you want to be a sponsor, you can send me an email to sajdahhouse@gmail.com. I can let you know what sponsorships are still available. So all y'all out here, Jim Jones, all y'all who worrying about giving Gucci $30,000, give it to the Elijah Muhammad House. And we'll make sure your name goes down in history and that you become a part of a legacy for generations to come. That's what you do with that money. And then what you can also do is you can get one of these commemorative Elijah coin pendants. I hope y'all like it. This copper is made from the gutters and downspouts of the messenger's home. And those are available on the website, sajdahhouse.com. We also have some of our graded coins. I don't have one here with me, that are also available on the website. And if you forget, just go to my Instagram and there's a link in the bio, or you can go to Facebook, link in the bio for you to do all that good stuff. Peace and blessings. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Alita. How are you? So thank you. I cannot thank you guys enough for the success of today. So I'm going to make these notes while we're waiting for people to come in. And I'm not going to wait too long because I've had a long day, a long successful day, but it's almost time to wind it down. All right, so I'm going to put the Cash App here for you all to donate. I'm going to put, let's see. If you want one-on-one coaching, okay, on money psychology, on manifesting, if you want one-on-one coaching and consulting for your business, then there's a link in my bio here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, where you can go out, book your session, and we'll talk about taking you and your business to that very next level. Let's see, what time we got here? 7:01. Okay, we'll give them a couple minutes. Thank you, sis. All right, so let's see. What was I going to do? Oh, I was going to put, I'm just putting some notes in the chat, okay? We can do money psychology 101s. We can do emotional intelligence 101s. Those are the most popular. And then we can do business consulting 101s. Walaikum salam. I got to say something about you, Sister Yavanka. Thank you today for coming out and supporting me. Thank you for helping me. I'm always a vanguard. I'm ready to soldier it out. And I love just the fact that when my family shows up, and I just really appreciate it. This work is it's a lot. It's ongoing. It's always happening. And so when people just decide to show up and support, I'm really grateful for you. My other sisters, oftentimes they got to work. Everybody got to make money. So when you showed up today and I saw your face, I was very grateful. So thank you. Thank you to you and to Brother Johnny. Okay, so the one-on-one sessions can be on money psychology, emotional intelligence, or business consulting. Okay. Um, and that link is in the bio. All right. So what we are going to do, we are going to go ahead and get started. Let's see who we got in here. Can you put the website where we can buy the coin in the chat? Yes, I can. That is sajdahhouse.com. Also link in the bio as well. That is Sister Amina. Sister Ivanka, I see you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Okay. We may not be as long tonight, but we're going to be strong. I anticipate that. Okay. By the grace of Allah. All right. So what we have been doing for those who are new, hopefully you all have been doing your homework. This is part 4 of the manifestation series. Let me give you all the greetings. Assalamu alaikum, or peace be unto you. And officially welcome you to the MOEToday, or the Mind of an Entrepreneur series on manifestation based on the book written by Charles F. Hanaal. And it's called the Master Key System. This series is an extension of my brand, the Mind of an Entrepreneur Today, or MOEToday for short. I developed this back in 2011 and made it a part of my weekly radio broadcast, and it became the foundation actually for the second half of the Mind of an Entrepreneur book, which I have not put out yet. So I just decided to go ahead and recreate the series, because what I'm realizing is that y'all don't be reading. So let's see. We'll see what happens. But anyway, my brand of products and services explores mental strategies and offers free game on how to navigate the world of business. I offer a unique approach to business that combines traditional disciplines with consciousness. I'm an international businesswoman, an industry disruptor, a global thought leader, philanthropist, master business and real estate developer, and I'm striving to become a God and a powerful manifester. So thank you for being here this evening. I'm excited to take this journey with all of you all. My goal, as you guys always know, is to help marginalized people around the world gain access to tools and strategies that will help us to become stronger, healthier, happier, wealthier, and to experience more love. I'm working to build a model using mental strategies that will help make doing for self infectious. I can't wait for you all to see the television show. I'm encouraging the creation of millionaire and billionaire conscious entrepreneurs who profit with a purpose, solve problems, and introduce much needed goods and services into their communities. And for those of you who are listening, who are shy and don't want to be in the chat, I'll say it again. We are studying this book, The Master Key System, written by Charles F. Hanaal. It's a beautiful book on self-mastery. And while this is a great title for the book, I always have to say this. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad holds the master key. He has given us so much more supreme wisdom and has given us the most advanced knowledge available on the planet today. And books like this one are interesting because they can help us to break down some of the advanced wisdom, just like our science and math books help us break down some of the advanced science and mathematics and astronomy that he gave us. Astronomy. Anyway, this week we're going to do something a little differently. I'm going to take portions of this chapter that resonated with me and expound upon them in our discussion today. Everybody all right? Look, listeners, they don't bite in the chat. I just want y'all to know that. So today's quote is, I am what I will to be. Let's put that in the chat. I am what I will to be. And there's an excerpt from the book that I enjoyed that says this. I'm going to read it. Life is expressive, and it is our business to express ourselves harmoniously and constructively. This just made me stop in my tracks when I read it. And although I've read it 1,000 times, like so many other things, it hit differently after a few experiences and few new interactions. I've always thought of making a statement, be it subtle or otherwise, in everything that I do. If you know me, you know that about me. In the past 10 years, I decided that I wanted to everything I do to say or express my love for Allah. When you are expressive, it means that you are conveying something. You are conveying something in words or by gestures and conduct. Um, I had a really interesting thought the other day, and I just said, just like as an extension to where I want to look for God in everything, I want to express Him in every way. And that can be alarming to people because they don't understand this type of behavior. But I've decided that I won't concern myself with it. I want you to feel my love for God in the air when you get into my car, walk into my house, look into my eyes, hear my voice, or feel my touch. So when you are expressive, it means that you are conveying something. When you convey something to someone, what do? You make an idea, impression, or a feeling known or understandable to someone. So when we say that God wants to express himself or make himself known, what is he conveying? Well, the word known, let's say that. The word known means to apprehend with certainty. To apprehend with certainty. I always talk about how I have had experiences in my life that may not have turned out the best that I wanted them to, but they gave me a sense of certainty. And certainty is very important as we move through life. So when we say we know something, the word known means to apprehend with certainty. And in mathematics, the known is the variable or the constant whose value is already determined. Known is to be aware of the truth of something, have a belief or faith in something, regard it as true beyond any doubt. So to make known is to reveal or to disclose. What are we saying? To make himself known is to assume that no one else knows him except those to whom he revealed himself to. He's making us know. He's making us know that he exists, giving us certainty in him. And I always talk about how in business we have to find anchors and things that we are certain about. What are you most certain about? About yourself, about your personality? What situation can come up that you are most certain about? And then guess what? When you're in business and you start to go to higher and higher levels, there becomes so much that you're not certain about. You got to have something that's your anchor. And what I'm saying to us as conscious entrepreneurs, he is giving us certainty because he came to make himself known. So let's be certain that our ability and our desire and our road to success is one that we know we can achieve. Let's be certain in that. Let's be certain in his love for us and his support. You got to be certain in something. And I say anchor yourself to Almighty God, Allah. He gives us other attributes about himself, including his name. So life, as the book says, is expressive, and it is our business to express ourselves harmoniously and constructively. Put that in the chat. We must express ourselves harmoniously and constructively. I want you to kind of twirl that around in your mind that you should be expressing. How do you express yourself? It's in the way you dress, in the way you present yourself, in the way you speak, in the way in which you handle yourself, your style, your swag. You're always expressing something. The way you write expresses something about you. The way you do your makeup expresses something about you. The way you wear your hair expresses something about you. And so, what this book is telling us is that we should express ourselves harmoniously and constructively. So, for me, the way I align this with my goals is that it is my business to express myself or my love for God harmoniously or in a way that forms a pleasing or consistency. So harmoniously means it's pleasing and consistent, and constructively, or in a way that has or is intended to have a useful or beneficial purpose. So it is our duty as conscious entrepreneurs to express ourselves harmoniously and constructively. So I want us to think about that. When we think about setting up our businesses, if we don't have a brick and mortar, if we're setting up our services and how we deliver the services and what we do, what are we doing? How are we doing it? Are we doing it harmoniously and constructively? Or are we doing it haphazardly, in a ragged type of way, in a rough way, in a tough way, in a deceptive way? See, these are the things that are going to help pull us out of this Machiavellian world and move us into a world where we have more constants that are really truly constants and not a way of being where someone can just pull the rug out from up under us at any point in time. So harmoniously and constructively. All right. The second statement from the book that resonated with me is the trained mind knows that every transaction must benefit every person who is in any way connected with the transaction. And any attempt to profit by the weakness, ignorance, or necessity of another person will inevitably operate to our disadvantage. Let me read that again, because I want you to hear that. This is for the trained mind. See, if you don't have a trained mind and you have a slave mind or a conqueror's mind or a mind that is being preyed upon and submitting to the predator, then you don't operate with this principle. You operate based on how they tell you to operate so you can get whatever they tell you you're going to get as a result of operating like that. But when you have a trained mind, this is what this author is saying. The trained mind knows that every transaction must benefit every person who is in any way connected with the transaction. And any attempt to profit by the weakness, ignorance, or necessity of another will inevitably operate to his disadvantage. See, because many of us who study and practice business prey on the weak and the ignorant. We think that's how you should do business. But what we're talking about today is doing business in a way using business models that are different from the ones that were developed around us as chattel slaves. Think about that. Those principles were developed, many of them 400 years ago, and still remain to this day. And then we go to business school and we study those principles and we learn how to conduct ourselves based upon those principles. And then we think we're going to separate and go to a new territory and bring those same business models, those same principles over there. Well, guess what's going to happen? We're going to have to set up the same dependencies that the system has. It's not black and white, it's the system. What does it depend upon? What is it modeled after? Okay? We think we're doing something a lot of times when we take advantage of somebody. We go somewhere, we just want to get something for free. We want to take something. You know, we want to be pimps. We want to be someone who uses someone. But you see, when you're a conscious entrepreneur with a trained mind, you understand how to negotiate and handle transactions in a non-predatory manner. And handling transactions is not just talking about money. Handling transactions is talking about relationships. How do you handle someone else? How do you handle someone else if they make a mistake? How do you handle someone else if they do something that you just don't understand? How do you handle someone if they do something that you don't like? A trained mind is one having been taught the particular skills we are reviewing each week, or one who demonstrates a particular type of behavior through practice and instruction over a period of time. See, when your mind is trained, you understand the proper way to transact business and to negotiate. You can do business on a higher frequency, free from mimicking the predatory capitalists that have enslaved us for over 400 years. Y'all all right? Y'all with me? That's an important point. It's a very, very important point, because a lot of times we don't think about that. We think, okay, I'm Black, I'm conscious, and it's me doing business, so that's going to make it different. Not necessarily. Not if you're really still taking those same principles and just moving them over to your Black business. See, you have to study that successful person, but you have to have the wisdom to be able to pull out of what you learn principles and processes and ways of doing things, habits and behaviors that benefit your business model, not just blindly mimic. All right? Okay. Number 3. Here's the third one. This is what this author says. This is beautiful. Or I'm sorry, this is beautiful. This is because the individual is a part of the universal. Okay? He says this is because the individual is part of the universal. And a part cannot antagonize any other part. But on the contrary, the welfare of each part depends upon a recognition of the interest of the whole. This is deep right here. This is understanding you and yourself as a piece of the puzzle. Beautiful. All right. So this to me is why unity is so important. I'm writing a show on unity, and unity is so important. See, each of the parts of the whole can unite to find a solution to a problem or to solve a puzzle. You need all the puzzle pieces. I think about a jigsaw puzzle when I hear this. A jigsaw puzzle generally starts with a piece of art. And it's a puzzle consisting of small, irregularly cut pieces that are to be fitted together to form a picture or a piece of art. And each individual piece contributes to the whole in its own very unique way. And without each piece, the entire piece of art cannot be recrafted. Think about that. The individual piece is a part of the whole piece of art, a very important part. Just like the author here says that the individual is a part of the universal. A part cannot antagonize or provoke hostility on another piece of the puzzle. The welfare or the health and happiness of each part depends upon their recognition of interest of the whole. Each piece understands that every other piece is necessary. Think about that. Let me know what you think about that in the chat. Each piece of the puzzle, meaning each and every one of us must understand that every other piece, every other person is necessary. Even if it's not something that you agree with, even if you don't all the way like them. Each piece of the puzzle, each individual has to understand and respect that every other piece and every other person is necessary. That's deep. See, that prevents us from thinking that we can just cancel folks, cut off pieces of puzzle and get rid of them. We have to figure out what is it inside of us that drew that out of that person? What is it that that person came to teach us? What is the relationship? There's a lot to figure out from these other pieces that are out here. This brings me to number 4. This part right here, Y'all get ready to type because I want this in the chat. This is the fourth statement that I love from this chapter. The germ of defeat is in every selfish thought. The germ of defeat is in every selfish thought. Let's put that in the chat. The germ of defeat is in every selfish thought. That's deep. Very deep. The germ of defeat is in every selfish thought. A germ is a portion of an organism capable of developing into a new one or a part of one. So the germ or part of defeat that is capable of developing and multiplying is every selfish thought. Selfish in this context means lacking consideration for others, concerned chiefly with one's own personal profit or pleasure. This type of thought leads to defeat or prevents our success and is contrary to the very nature of God Himself. Everything in the universe is designed to work in harmony. Remember, harmoniously and constructively. All the planets move at the same speed. There are laws that create constants and consistency, like the law of gravity. The scientific mechanisms of birth and death are the same for everyone. It's consistent. Unity is so important. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that in unity there is strength. Your businesses are strengthened if you define and unite around common themes and goals. So you have to meet with your employees and come up with your annual goals and the annual themes and what it is that you're going to work towards. And if you all can unite around that, you'll see some momentum that maybe you wouldn't see if you all were kind of all off on your own individual tangents. So you want to set up policies and procedures and processes that support common goals. See, if you have a company full of rogue individuals, the company will not function according to the laws of the universe, and you will have chaos. You will have a toxic environment, and that is not healthy. You will default to the predatory capitalist energy that exists in the broader business world. So the germ of defeat is in every selfish thought. You may be thinking, well, all I care about is my money and getting my paycheck, getting the bag, securing the coin, and in my account, not the day before payday, that's what I want. That's all I care about. Outside of that, I could care less. If all you care about is your paycheck, and you are disengaged from anything else in the company, including doing a good job, what do you think happens to the company when you have several people like you working for them? Think about that. You around there doing the bare minimum, stealing off of supplies, all off on your own tangent. How many people like you can that business absorb, especially if it's a small business? I did an episode on the Mind of an Entrepreneur show on this very topic. And I don't know if you all knew this, but the Gallup did a survey or a study, and a study on disengaged employees, which is a very, very deep study. Disengaged employees. Put that in the chat. Disengaged employees. Now check this out. When they did their study, what they learned is the cost of disengaged employees ranges from an estimated $450 to $550 billion annually nationwide. Disengaged employees. That's just people who just ain't in it. They only in it for the paycheck and they really don't want to be bothered. They are disengaged. They are not engaged with the goals of the company. They cost on average annually $450 to $550 billion. How much do you think employee disengagement is costing your company or organization? Here's something else for you. It is trendy to be a disengaged employee. Did y'all know that? It's trendy. People post about it, they talk about it, they brag about it, but y'all better stop that, because employers are now checking social media. And if they can see that you have a history of being a disengaged employee, you might not get that job you're looking for. And you better correct that behavior so that when you start your own business, people are not selfish and disengaged with you. The study also goes on to say that only 17% of American employees are actively engaged at work. How much impact do you think this has on the American economy and its ability to compete globally? See, what that's saying is, even if we had the businesses, even if we were still manufacturing at the level that we were 50 years ago, with that level of disengagement, we would still be losing the game. Gallup describes an actively disengaged worker as someone who is unhappy and unproductive at work and liable to spread negativity to coworkers. And see, this can happen in organizations and at work. Believe it or not, people are disengaged in organizations as well. They join the organization, but they really not engaged. They unhappy, unproductive, and they spread negativity. In other words, they are people who don't like their job or don't like the organization and aren't afraid to let other people know about it. Now, they may let other people know about it verbally, or they may let other people know about it by the way in which they conduct themselves. It's deep. Gallup also found that an actively disengaged employee costs their organization $3,400 for every $10,000 of salary, or 34%. That means an actively disengaged employee who makes, let's say, $60,000 a year costs their company $20,400 a year. Can you afford this type of disengagement in your business? See, this is the kind of stuff, and these are the reasons why you don't want to just bring those business models over and conduct yourself the same way you did in the corporate world. Because most of us as small businesses, we can't absorb that. This is why conscious entrepreneurs and conscious employees are so important to our success. Uniting around a common goal, having your own personal integrity levels. I tell people, learn to operate within the granular levels of integrity. Encourage open dialogue. Develop great managers. All of these are things that can help you reduce this type of disengagement in your organization, but it starts with us. See, because we have to understand how we impact the whole piece of the puzzle. And I will tell you that oftentimes in the corporate world, they don't think about how much that disengaged employee is impacting the bottom line of their business. People put metrics in place to try to manage behaviors and encourage productivity and all of that kind of stuff. But if you have actively engaged employees, you got a problem. All right, so here's number 5. Here's another concept that will help us to reduce the amount of disengagement, okay? The author says modern psychology tells us that when we start something and do not complete it, or make a resolution and do not keep it, we are forming the habit of failure. Ooh-wee. Let me say that again. Modern psychology tells us that when we start something and do not complete it, or make a resolution and do not keep it, we are forming the habit of failure. If you do not intend to do something, don't start it. And if you do start, see it through, even if the heavens fall. If you make up your mind to do something, do it. Let nothing, no one interfere. The I in you has determined the thing is settled. The die is cast. There is no longer any argument. I teach heavy on this in my one-on-one coaching sessions with my clients because You don't want to get in the habit of lying to yourself. Don't lie to yourself. Don't create the habit of failure. Do what you tell yourself you are going to do. Make your word bond to everyone, but especially to yourself. Make your word bond to yourself. Don't get in the habit of lying to yourself, failing yourself, because that will become common and it'll become a habit. How many times do we say we're going to do something, but we don't do it? How many times do we promise ourselves something and find it so easy to just forget about it? And we wonder why it's so easy for other people to not keep their bond with us, their word bond with us. What pattern are we teaching ourselves? What vibration do those failures operate on? What frequency is that lie that you tell yourself? See, because other people are going to come up and they just match that frequency. When they match that frequency, it's the same deception. If you want people to start being a little bit more honest, you be honest with yourself and you be honest with them. All right. Here's number 6. It's another concept that entrepreneurs have a habit of violating. The author says, here is the secret of power, of mastery. To overcome does not mean to go without things. Self-denial is not success. We cannot give unless we get. We cannot be helpful unless we are strong. The infinite, or Allah, I heard the minister teaching on this, somebody posted this. The infinite, or God, or Allah, is not a bankrupt. And we who are the representatives of infinite power should not be bankrupt either. And if we wish to be of service to others, we must have power and more power, but to get it, we must give it. We must be of service. This is why we have to be mindful of our ego that wants to be special and that doesn't care if it's especially good or especially bad, will easily deceive us into violating this principle just so it can feel special. It will cause us to identify with sorrow, define ourselves by pain and loss, expect poverty, and a whole host of other low vibrational emotions. Check this out. Here's something. Have you ever been talking on the phone to someone and you said something like, oh my God, I was so tired today and I had a headache. And they instantly chime back, oh my God, me too. And then you say, yeah, okay. Because a lot of times, when you're relating to someone, sometimes it's interesting and it's fun when that person says that they found some money today and you go, oh shoot, I found some money today. Or same thing. I had such a headache today. Then you say, you too, me too. And then you say, yeah, I was in so much pain. I had to move slow. I had to go to bed early. And then they say, what? I had to drive myself to the ER, put a bag over my head because the light bothered me, tell the doctor not to talk to me. Then they had to let me spend the night at the hospital. I couldn't eat. I couldn't drink anything. And then they go on and on and on. And the conversation shifts from you guys having a common experience, and you realize that this is more than a coincidence that you had a similar experience. And you become keenly aware that it's a competition for this person, where they have to one-up you so that they can feel special. That's the ego. I'm talking about beyond. You say, girl, you had a headache too? Yeah, I did. So did I, girl. Yeah, I was tired. I understand. That's general camaraderie and commonality and just having that conversation. But when that person has to just keep going deeper and deeper, and every time you talk, they got to go deeper and deeper and deeper. And you feel like, have you ever just had that feeling like, okay, this don't feel right? Are they trying to say they had a worse headache than me? Say something in the chat if you know this kind of thing. And when I studied to become an emotional intelligence coach, one of the nasty habits that we practice to let go of was this one. When someone speaks, there is a healthy balance between being competitive and having camaraderie. What you want to do is try to listen without injecting yourself or your opinion. See, one of the gifts that I learned is to listen to a story or a set of facts without injecting myself. Okay. You can inject yourself if you want to add value, but don't inject yourself so that you try to one up that person. When you learn, though, and practice to remove yourself, you can see more clearly, and your ego is not clouding your judgment. So here's an exercise for you all, for you to practice. First, try to listen to someone without injecting something about yourself. Just do it. Even if you got something you want to say, just practice falling back a little bit. You can also take a problem. Here's another way to break yourself of that habit. I love this one because we used to do this all the time in class. Take a problem and write the problem down on the top of a piece of paper. And on the left side, you write down all the things that can happen, even if you don't want them to happen, or even if you are not likely, if they're not likely to happen. So you write down all the things that you want to happen, that you don't want to happen, that are likely to happen, that are unlikely to happen. You write all that down on the left side of the piece of paper. And then you walk through each of those scenarios that you just wrote down and allow yourself to feel them. Just feel them. Go through each one. You might have 10. Then you settle on the one that you really want to happen. And then you amplify your emotions around it. If you are in one of my one-on-one coaching classes, I'd walk you through that exercise and help you to understand how this strengthens your emotions and makes you more endeared to what you want. But we don't exactly have all that time today. So I just want you write on that one side of paper everything that could possibly happen, good, bad, and ugly. And then on this side, you write down how you feel about each of those things. And what that will do, it will reduce the fear as well of those things that you don't want. Because a lot of times we make stuff happen just because we're scared. But when you take yourself through that exercise, you can work through those emotions, and you'll find that it's easier for you to focus on the one thing or the one outcome that you want. And if you want this kind of training, you can sign up for my one-on-one classes, and I'll teach you how to train your mind to get yourself through that kind of thing. Here's number 7. The more we give, the more we shall get. We must become a channel whereby the universal can express activity. The universal is constantly seeking to express itself, to be of service, and it seeks the channel whereby it can find the greatest activity, where it can be the most good, where it can do the most good, where it can be of greatest service to mankind. So practicing this kind of thing puts you in a position where you can better acknowledge God's use of you, if that makes sense. Here's number 8. Visualize the events, circumstances, and conditions which these spiritual connections may assist in manifesting. Realize the fact that the essence and soul of all things is spiritual, and that the spiritual is the real, because it is the life of all there is. When the spirit is gone, the life is gone. It is dead. It has ceased to exist. So we talked before in a previous class that you always want to work on your vitality, because without vitality, you have no life. Here's the last one for tonight. Thought is a mode of motion and is carried by the law of vibration, the same as light or electricity. Think about that. Stop for a minute. Your thought is a mode, like a mode of transportation. You got car, you got plane, you got bus, you got train. Thought is a mode of motion, and it's carried by the law of vibration. So the frequency, right? But guess what? So is light or electricity. It's carried in the same mode and same frequency as your thoughts, or can be the same frequency. It is given vitality or life by the emotions through the law of love. See, the law of love is the master emotions, and any other variation within there gives some form of vitality or lack thereof to the thought. Vitality meaning life. It takes form and expression by the law of growth. It is a product of the spiritual I, hence its divine, spiritual, and creative nature. What they're saying to you and what the author is saying, that our thoughts are divine, spiritual, and creative in nature. And so we just have to work to keep them up at that vibration. That's right, love and life. All right, so go back through the chapter, review the homework. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you all are subscribing to the Sajdah Wendy Muhammad channel. So thank you. I cut the class short today because I've been going hard. I've been talking all day since the press conference. And so, but I'm grateful for you all for jumping here. I did not want to cancel this. What I love so much about this type of study is that the more you do it, and if you do it on a consistent basis, you will find your life improving in ways that, you didn't even plan or you didn't even know. All of a sudden, things will just start manifesting and happening. And so I just don't want us to miss out. These are jewels, just this kind of discussion. And can you imagine just doing this all the time? And these are the types of conversations that we have with people instead of, gossiping, talking about pop culture and that kind of stuff. All right. So what I'll do is I'll put a post out here so you all can let me know what you think about the class. Be sure you keep your flow of energy going. You want to bring somebody to the class. You want to tell somebody about the class. You want to give to somebody. You want to help somebody. You want to give to MOEToday. Keep the flow going. Don't live a life of subtraction. I want everybody right now to say, I am in receiving mode. Put that in the chat. I am in receiving mode. And if you're in receiving mode, I don't mean receive and keep. I don't mean when somebody comes to you, your energy basically says, back up off of me. I'm talking about flow. That's why I tell you all, donate to MOEToday. Make a comment, say a prayer, give, receive and give, receive and give. Create that flow in your life, because that's what you want money to do. You want money to flow in, and you want to have the freedom to allow it to flow out so that you can do more for yourself and your community and your family, because you're not worried, because it's coming back in. So you want to create that flow. So get out of the habit of going places and taking stuff. Get out of that habit. Get out of the habit of going and taking, stealing. You go, you listen to a good conversation, and then you just leave. You dip out. You go, you listen to a good conversation, you take the host a gift. Come bearing gifts when you go to somebody else's house. You give because you are expecting to receive something. If it's nothing other than just beautiful conversation, beautiful energy that you're going to get back, but you want that flow to come to you. Go to MOEToday, make a donation. You can Cash App it. I don't care if it's as small as $1. It can be as much as a few hundred, but I want you all to practice flowing. Practice flowing. Next time you visit someone else's house, take them a little gift. Next time you go to a meeting, take them a little gift. Give to someone, because you have to create that flow. See, this selfish world that we live in, it's all about hoarding and keeping and holding. And I got mine, she got to get hers. Or shoot, she got money, she don't need nothing. That's not how life works. That's not how life works. I'm just watching you all in the chat. That's not how life works. Flow. You want to flow. It's about the flow coming through you, not the flow coming through me, not the flow coming through somebody else. Support a cause, adopt a cause. When you have your business, Each business should have a cause. Each business should have a platform. Whether you rescue stray cats, whether you rescue stray dogs, whatever it is that you do, whatever your platform is. If your platform is, we hope you would make your platform the Elijah Muhammad House. And you say, you know what? I'm going to give. I'm going to give to this cause. But what is your platform? Are you saving the environment? What are you doing? That flow has to be there. Get yourself out of the habit of living a selfish life of subtraction, because I guarantee you, you will experience what the book says: the germ of defeat is in every selfish act. See, because what happens when we get so focused on defeating, of being selfish, we start defeating ourselves, right? Because then it makes it easy for somebody to put us in a situation that's not advantageous. Y'all didn't hear that. Anyway, all right. So give me your feedback. I appreciate that. You can put it in the chat. Please make a comment on social media. Please make a donation. And inshallah, I will see you all Saturday for the Sajdah Saturday morning coffee talk, where we talk about life, love, and business. Make sure you like this page. And if you're not on my mailing list, just text "Do for Self" to 855-574-9099. And I want to see all of y'all rocking your Elijah Muhammad commemorative coin pendant. So go out there, make a donation, and get you a pendant. All right. Peace and blessings, you all. Thank you. Thank you for bearing with my voice. I know I probably talked a little fast today, and that's just because it's time for your girl to just kind of wind down. All right. Peace and blessings, family. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for listening and joining today. I'll stay on for a couple minutes so you all can put some feedback in the chat. And I put our little neo soul instrumental music back on, and we'll give it about a minute since we're early. Please say something in the chat. Please go make a donation. Please say a prayer. All right. Okay. Sister 19 said this class is so powerful. Marvelous Marva said, thank you for all that you do. Thank you all. I am in receiving mode. That's exactly right. Good manners. Thank you. Always a blessing. Thank you, Sister Alita. Yes. Let's flow. Let's flow. Let's get out of this selfishness. Because look, God is not selfish with us. Peace and blessings. Appreciate you too, sis. Thank you, Sister Marva. Give my niece the greetings and a big hug. I hope she's taking the class with you. If not, you can always let her listen to past episodes. Because this is for our children as well. It's important for them to learn some of these principles because they're going to be starting businesses sooner than later. All right. Peace and blessings, family. I'm going to sign out.